Hello, my name is Brittany Scott and I'm a speech-language pathologist and certified speak out provider at Parkinson Voice Project. I am so happy you're joining me today to practice those exercises to keep your speech and swallowing strong. If you are not already working one-on-one with a certified speak out provider, you should be. These exercises and these practices are wonderful, but if you're not working with a certified provider, your voice will not be as strong, will not reach its full potential. Today's topic, we are talking about YAMS. Okay, everyone say that with me. YAMS. Now with more intent. YAMS. Wonderful. Also known as, say that answer again with more intent. You are correct if you said sweet potatoes. There is a week-long festival where I'm from called the Yamboree. And so we're going to talk more about that later. First, let's take a sip of water, swallowing with that intent. I'm using one of my favorite mugs that says hydrate with intent. A lovely patient and his wife gave it to me. So as you're drinking, you're hydrating with intent. Okay, we are going to get started with our first exercise. Remember, I want you to stretch and connect each of these words. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Good work. Let's do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Good effort. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Wonderful intent. We have two more of these. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Last one, make it your best warm-up. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Great job. Let's all take a sip of water. We are hydrating and swallowing with intent. Let's move on to our ahs. Make sure you are opening your mouth wide and projecting your voice over your computer or your iPad, whatever device you are practicing with us today. Here we go. Ah. Great. Another. Ah. Good effort. Again. Ah. Great. These last two ahs, we are going to do them shorter. We're going to do 5 seconds. That does not mean to slack off. I want 5 strong, steady seconds. Here we go. Ah. Last one, make it your best ah. Ah. Wonderful. Let's take a sip of water. And we are moving on to the glides. Those glides really stretch those vocal folds and help add that color and that inflection back to your voice. So same thing, we are going to open wide and project our voice forward. Here we go. Ah, ah. Great. Was your mouth open wide on the up and down glide? Make sure. Let's do it again. Ah, ah. Great effort. Let's do another. Number 3. Ah, ah. Great work. Again. Ah, ah. Okay, we have one more glide. Give it your best effort, your best intent. Here we go. Ah, ah. Wonderful. Let's take a sip of water, swallowing and hydrating with intent. Okay, our next exercise, we are going to count. Just like that warm-up, you are going to stretch and connect every number. We are going to do this together 3 times through. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Good effort. How would you rate that amount of intent for the counting on a scale of 1 to 10? Say that number again with more intent. All right, I would give myself an 8. So this next time, I'm going to strive for an 8.5. Let's do it again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, that time I think I'm going to give myself an 8.5. What would you rate your intent on a level of 1 to 10? Say that number with more intent. Great. We have one last go through with these numbers. Every word on purpose. Make it your best one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Great job. Let's take a sip of water with intent. swallowing with that intent. Okay, we are going to move on to our reading. Like I said, we are talking about YAMS today. I hope y'all like YAMS. If not, you're going to learn a lot about them. All right, we're going to scroll down to our reading. The first time we read this sentence, I want it with intent. The second time, I want it with even more intent. Here we go. The East Texas Yamboree began in 1935. I did not give those highlighted words extra oomph. Did you? Let's do it again together this time. The East Texas Yamboree began in 1935. Great, let's read this next sentence. It was initially a celebration for the return of the sweet potato crop after a weevil quarantine was lifted. Let's read that again. More intent, more emphasis on those highlighted words. It was initially a celebration for the return of the sweet potato crop after a weevil quarantine was lifted. A weevil quarantine. Have you ever heard of such a thing? I sure hadn't. Okay, this next sentence. The week-long festival is held annually in Gilmer, Texas. Again, with more intent. The week-long festival is held annually in Gilmer, Texas. Specifically, Upshur County is all involved. Okay, this is a long sentence with lots of highlighted words. So really focus. You have 2 chances to read this with your best voice. Here we go. Events include parades, pageants, livestock shows, a yam decorating contest, a fiddler's contest, gospel singing, a barn dance, quilt shows, and a marching band contest. A variety of events. Let's read that again. Events include parades, pageants, livestock shows, a yam decorating contest, a fiddler's contest, gospel singing, a barn dance, quilt shows, and a marching band contest. Many options. I was in the marching band contest every year in high school, the parades as well, and it was fun. It was great. We got out of school 3 days for this festival, and my brother, when he was younger, decorated a yam. He painted it black and white and named it Yamu, and he won for that. Okay, last sentence. There is a yam queen and a yam court. Let's read that with more intent. There is a yam queen and a yam court. Great. Let's take a sip of water, swallowing with intent. Okay, we're going to move on to our conversation exercise. Whoops! You can't have these answers. We're going to forget those answers with intent. You did not see them, okay? Let's try this. I want you to name 3 yam dishes. 3 dishes you can make with yams or sweet potatoes. Tell me one of those again with more intent. Thank you. Okay, let's see these answers, some options. Let's read that first one. Sweet potato fries. Roasted sweet potatoes. And sweet potato pie. And what are some things you can put on the roasted sweet potatoes? Say that again with more intent. Some options, some marshmallows, maybe some nuts on there. Caramel's coming to my brain, but I don't know if people do that, but it sounds delicious. Some options. Okay, let's go to this next one. Name 3 carnival rides or attractions. Say them with more intent. Okay, let's look at some options here. All right, let's read these. A Ferris wheel, a carousel, or bumper cars. And many, many more. Okay, our next one. Ooh, I'm happy I just ate, or I would be hungry with this question. Name 3 other carnival foods. Okay, say those answers again with more intent. All right, let's see if we matched on any of our answers. I put down my favorites, so let's see. We have a turkey leg, corn dog, or a funnel cake. If you're getting a corn dog, are you putting ketchup or a mustard on it? Or both? Tell me your answer with more intent. Wonderful. Okay, let's go ahead and take a sip of water. I'm going to pretend mine is lemonade from the Yamboree. Very tart is how I like it. Swallow with intent. Okay, it is time for our Dr. Boon's words. These are so helpful for swallowing, getting that back of the tongue muscle stronger. Let's do these together. Goo la gung ga ga. Again. Goo la gung ga ga. Ku ka mung goo ka. Ku ka mung goo ka. Great effort. Keep it going. Gung gla. Gung gla. Ku kla. Ku kla. Fabulous job. Let's take another sip of water and then we'll get to our bonus reading. Okay, our bonus reading, we're going to learn a little bit more about the Yamboree. Let's start at the very beginning. The week-long Yamboree Festival draws around 100,000 visitors annually, increasing Gilmer's population 20 times. The festival features 2 major parades, the School Parade and the Queen's Parade. No other float in the parade is allowed to be taller than the Queen's float. Let's read that again with more intent. The week-long Yamboree Festival draws around 100,000 visitors annually, increasing Gilmer's population 20 times. The festival features two major parades, the School Parade and the Queen's Parade. No other float in the parade is allowed to be taller than the Queen's float. It's a true statement too. I will show you a float that I worked on with student council when I was a senior in high school, and my very best friend is on the float. There she is, right there waving. Yes, you see Darth Vader. There was a theme, I think it was movies, hence the big star, movie star in the back, and all these yam duchesses is what they're called, ride on the floats. And that parade's maybe 20 minutes long, so it's a fun time, lots of good memories. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lovely time practicing these exercises and using intent with you. I hope you have a great rest of your day speaking with intent.